All right. Hello! Because somebody forgot to mute their computer. Hello and welcome to everybody to the Tech Off Topic podcast. I'm Mike Elsmore, and the clown that gave us all a headache is...
Hello, I'm Jim Second. I'm a professional. I do this for a living.
And the professionals are in the room. And for the first time ever, we have our first in-person guest.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. I promise I'm not a professional. I'm Luke Browne.
And why? What is your thing?
And what do you do?
I'm a software engineer. I'm a doer of things.
Actually,
I do things.
Technically, he's more of an engineer than we are.
Software engineer on this podcast won't do, surely.
Oh, God, no. Just to check, if anybody in the chat, yes, this has been live streamed if you are listening to this podcast after the fact. We're just double checking that people can actually hear us because according to the Focusrite, they can, but I have no idea. But so if you can, it sounds like coming through the wrong mic. Oh dear God,
that sounds great.
Sounds about legit. I'm just gonna ramp it all up. Can we move him close? Do I need to be this close to the microphone?
We'll go to 11.
Yeah.
Hello.
Just whack them. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're all clipping now. There we go. There we go. So, yes, Tech Off Topic podcast, where we usually talk madness on the internet and random stuff. And we have got our first segment of the podcast ever.
Our first feature.
Our first feature segment.
I'm looking forward to this because it's just written down in a Google, like in the Google Doc in the agenda, but there's no implementation instructions of how it should look or what it should sound like. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, that's the point, right?
I suppose this is a very organic kind of podcast, isn't it? Really. I'm gonna also put my mic the other side so I can look at Luke, because otherwise, like, I'm turning my face away, and it's not, and I just want to see his face.
It's a pretty face. Don't know why I said it like that.
I always love it when you do a voice, because I never know what voice you're gonna get.
Oh God, no, let's not go down that. Anyway, so just to get it out of the way, because it's going to happen, because we happen to do this every bloody time. Latest round of layoffs.
Oh, it's so boring. Who is it this time?
I know, but we've now done every podcast we've done for like 3 months. It's always started with and these layoffs.
You're being automated out of your job as well, because there's a tracking. I don't know whether you knew this. Layoffs.fyi tracks like all the big US.
It's a giant Airtable, just keeping an eye on it.
It's so sort of just. Oh, dear.
There's someone I follow on Twitter as well, Giggly, who's the pragmatic engineer, really good newsletter, and it's very depressing Twitter feeds because it's like layoff.
Is this
layoff. Twitter deep dive about the layoffs?
Is this the guy that does like gets the scoops all the time about? Oh yes, okay. No, I've been following. He's been the sort of most fascinating. A bit more not rather than just doom and gloom. It's just very interesting to see the inner workings of things that are going on. When he first started doing it, it was like, ooh, and it's very sort of tech conversation focused. And now it's like, well, we'll get onto Twitter, but that's just nonsense, isn't it?
I remember the days when like the layoffs with the salt and pepper in between like the tech conversation. They do like serious tech stuff, but yeah, it seems to just be like a layoff journalist.
That's what's first on the list is right. Who's been fired? Let's just get that out of the way because it's boring and no one wants to talk about it anymore, apart from the people that have been fired. And then
well, that was me last time.
Try and get people jobs.
But yeah, so we're on to, I believe it's round 4 for Meta or 3.
Oh, I've lost count.
We've like round 2 for Twitter.
That one's different, right?
And we've lost
did we do Stripe last time?
No, Stripe since then. So also Stripe. So
another round of Stripe.
Anybody who needs to hire, I think there's a fucking amount of employees that you can pick up really cheap at the moment.
Well, that's
just in time for Christmas.
That's the interesting thing. If you do like 11% of the top tier of your engineering team, and someone has been fired somewhere else from the product team, you're like, okay, so like if I can convince all of you, we could just make a product, but then it might turn into a Silicon Valley kind of episode on its all on its own.
I'm pretty convinced that the layoffs right at the top of the pyramid isn't really going to make that much of an impact if you're at like, I don't know, Series B, Series C startup, or like a Series A startup, or just like a mature tech company that's maybe not paying as much. Maybe it's not a tech company It's the boot campers, it's the new entrants, because you'll have this trickle down of, Meta employees coming down to your Series C companies, and your Series C companies coming down a tier. I think it's your new entrants.
There's a shift.
In many ways, that's the most unfair thing, right?
Oh, as is with life, isn't it? It's always just generically terrible. I don't like Mike's. He's got his schoolboy face on. I don't really know why.
I forgot to turn the ghost power on, which is why it was quiet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Turned it off and turned it back on again. Amazing.
8 minutes in, and we've had a truly awful dev joke. Oh, Jesus.
Well, was it funny? Depends, doesn't it? Really.
Chat's still saying it's quiet, but
sorry. No one went for that. I did an it depends joke, and both of you were just like, I can't be arsed with it.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Right, done layoffs. That's depressing. Come on. Right, roll the dice.
Should we talk about the Twitter layoff?
I think our guest should pick the. Well, he's already picked it, but I think our guest should pick the first thing.
Because it's Twitter. 90% of the engineers that were at Twitter 3 months ago aren't there anymore.
Really?
They have 10% now. Yeah, according to Google.
Yeah.
Plug again. You should expense his newsletter if you don't already. It's fantastic. But yeah, no, they've got 10% of their original engineers left.
But that's so what? Hold on. Right. So I got a setup from one of my team about how I was going to comically do it, and I've forgotten all of it, so it's not going to happen. But we really sort of but anyone with any sense knew it was going to happen. That if you actually set out to lay off 50% of your engineering team, well, then you've got about a minimum of 20% attrition that will just leave because the people they were friends with, or their mentors, or their mentees, etc., will just go. So there's that much. And then there was the working from home thing, and then there was all of the other stuff that he's done. So 90%. So what do you reckon the 10% are doing? What are they doing?
Well, I'm going with the 10% on a San Francisco salary. Half of them are probably just screw it, New Year.
Well, because it is that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't know why you wouldn't take the 3-month severance though, if that was your strategy.
That was the thing that was nuts. Of like, there's Twitter 2.0, and it's going to be hardcore engineering, and he's doing the sort of the kind of bro, the tech bro thing, which I think works really well in sort of traditional engineering of engineering physically with Tesla, and it works with SpaceX, and then web engineers are just like, cool, that sounds awesome. We've heard about this before, and also we know about the game industry. So, do you want to just give me 3 months pay now, and then I'll just go? Because obviously that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why would you? So he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. The choice was join Tesla's social media arm or take 3 months, right? And it was some of that was non-optional, that they fired half the company, and then some of that was optional, but at the end of the day, it's still the same choice, right? Do you want to work at Tesla's little social media?
I've just found out the problem with the mic.
Okay.
It's proximity. And it's yours needs to be higher up and more in front of your face.
Okay.
Because these are the cheap ones that you're not able to sit a mile away and talk at. Which is the reason why we're kind of into it.
Yeah, okay. Is that better?
It should be better. There we go. Anyway, so no,
three people podcast teething vibes for the first time.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
New audio equipment and me being an idiot.
Everything new. You sort of blanked yourself out. We'll see how that works out later.
We've got plenty of topics, including one that's going to make me swear a lot.
I wonder which one it is. Now we have to play the guessing game. Is there much to add more to the Twitter thing? It's just.
All right. We need to save it because there is the predictable, which is a few months ago that we did one where we guessed that correctly there would be litigation about Copilot.
Yeah.
So there is now the predictable segment where we have topics where we then have to guess not what the state of it is, but what the state of it will be.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure the Twitter thing will roll into that.
Wait,
later on.
this is the first phase of it, and I'm really optimistic that we can start introducing props and things. So like we have like a magic 8 ball that we shake, and then we have to try and map that onto onto what DigitalOcean is going to do next. I find it funny. No, if you're listener, I either feel for you or you share the same sense of humor as me, which not many do. So good luck.
Who wants to pick the first topic? Well, the next topic, because we did the layoffs.
That was easy. The Twitter bit is just like there's no point doing it because everyone's talking about it, right?
Yeah. So who
I still think that's Luke.
Do you want to pick the first topic then?
Let's go Treasury Discord. I enjoyed that.
All right. I have a rule. Whenever Jim puts something in that, I don't read it so that he gets my genuine quick
it's so funny. It's so funny. So
it's like the epitome of not having the person in the room.
can I just obviously we have to backtrack for listeners, right? Okay, right. So I think this came from Nadine Dorries, who was under the last administration was the head of culture, media, and sport. And if you've ever had imposter syndrome, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about it. Just look at what she did. She had not really a clue, and then she tried to do like a TikTok explaining what she did, and you just thought, oh, you don't like it was just real rabbit in the headlight stuff. I reckon it was her plan, and the big plan is we need to like, how you doing, fellow kids, Steve Buscemi style. What film was that from? I can't even remember. It was a TV series, but it's real sort of cringeworthy. Like we have to do this because the young people are doing it. So the plan is the British government open up their own Discord, and the results are pretty predictable. If you put a man called Jeremy Hunt and put a big thing saying, "This is Jeremy, ask him anything,"
I'm not going to lie.
His surname does rhyme with things, and you're asking for
his
it.
His surname was Hunt. I definitely thought he was just called Jeremy Hunt.
Okay, just like that takes the humor out of it if Mike just does it. But it's brilliant. The whole thing is like a massive troll fest.
The thing is, they knew what was coming as well because they turned off replies, right? only the Treasury consulted. They knew that they couldn't trust people.
But for the users, for like, okay, right, I'm like just come out of college, so I'm like sort of 18 or 19. I've got a serious question for the cabinet or my MP. So what do I do? So I log. Okay, well I know how to use Discord, so I'm going to log in. And what am I going to do? Am I going to reply to? Am I going to send a DM to send a DM to like I was going to say Jacob Rees-Mogg. What a shame he's gone. No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not too upset about that. Well, I'm going to send a DM to Jeremy Hunt. Well, you created this. What about the funding for insert thing that I'm interested in?
Yeah, it's
you're not going to get anything, are you?
It's like the appearance of being in touch and the appearance of adopting a platform where the people are. You had the coronavirus stuff, right? Where they have ask the public can ask a question at the press briefings, and at least then you had real people asking questions. This is just like the appearance of wanting to kind of connect with people without really any substance.
Yeah, it's really vacuous, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any real Discord users here. Well,
it's funny.
Yeah.
Actually, considering the vast majority of Discord users from the UK, at least, are politically charged as well.
Yeah.
It's the right audience, just not the right mechanism.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they'd want to swallow the government propaganda that you spread down in Discord read-only feeds, but each to their own.
I want to know if like there's the general openness of tech swaying to one political side, which is usually towards the left. Is what's the other side doing? What are they using? And don't say Truth Social or whatever, which tends
Parler.
Parler. Actually, that was one of the things we were going to talk about. That was the only. I was talking with Luke on the way over. There's the only thing of merit was trying to talk about how to connect with developer communities from Mastodon, because it's not everyone's going to take up Mastodon. So You know, where does that leave us? I've completely derailed the Discord thing, but there you go.
Off topic.
Tech off topic. Tech on topic from 10 minutes ago. It's like when a comedian does a callback. Like, yeah, I'm gonna. But although obviously the callbacks are sort of for jokes and
True.
are
But
funny.
to be fair,
funny.
we're all software engineers, so what I should be saying, we'll circle back to that.
Oh no.
See
Okay.
you in a suit now.
Look,
I have never in my life worn a suit professionally.
oh,
I've
I
literally
have.
only worn it for weddings and funerals.
What's such like joy and disappointment? That's what suits are for. I'm obviously of the older millennial generation, so I sometimes wear my. I was like, right, I'm gonna go for dinner with my wife tonight. I'll get my dark jeans on. I think a suit jacket will go perfectly well with this. That's I'm an older millennial. That's me. And a t-shirt.
Just as an
not a
FYI,
shirt.
you're not an old millennial. You're just old.
Just old. So I can walk into I walk into a glorified Mitchells and Butlers gastropub wearing my smart shoes and my jacket with a t-shirt with a tech company on it because I'm young.
Double check. We're all wearing trainers. Yes, we're not one of those yet.
Mitchell and Butler gastropub. It's a bit of an oxymoron. I didn't know that
They do.
They're massive.
Yes.
They're massive. They do the
You know, Michelin Butler owns half of the pubs in the UK. I swear to God.
yeah they do.
Just walk down the
Oh,
road.
but they brand everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like Unilever. I've never heard of them. No, it's a bit like it's got they've got their one of the things I really I went to one of their cheap ass ones, which was something like Sizzling Grill or Sizzler, and it's got like a blue. Have you seen them? They've got like a blue logo. They tend to be in suburbs. You don't really get them in the city centre, and they're all around most of the Midlands, then towards the south, and. Their kind of like tagline is this really bullshit thing that's awful, which is something like, when we bring it out, if it's not sizzling, you get your money back. All right, okay, whatever. And so it comes out, your food comes out on this cast iron thing, so that it's like it's actually sizzling. So I ordered it. This is not like this is not really Sizzling Grill's fault. This is my fault. I ordered a rare steak to see what would happen. Let's see what happens. And they brought it out on a cast iron thing and went, there's your rare steak served on a Sizzling Grill thing. So obviously I just took one cut into it and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I send this back for it being overdone? Because the whole premise of this thing doesn't work.
I'm sorry, but that's just excessive troll level.
I mean, I just thought I'd see what happens. It's a bit like taking 1,200 microservices and seeing what happens if we go, do you know what? I don't reckon we need these. Let's see what happens. There you go. That's the callback.
Twitter callback.
That's the
Already?
callback. I like it.
Oh God.
There's a Musk callback for everything in this episode.
No, they're the only Musk in this world it smells currently. Or by the nickname I've heard him recently is Muskrat.
My favorite Musk thing, which was this morning, which was projected onto the Twitter HQ, was Space Karen.
Yeah.
Loved it.
There was a lot of like substantial insults in there. You like most of them backed up with evidence. The best of all of them was Space Karen.
I love it. Space Karen. It's so sort of short and sharp and like, oh, we know exactly what you mean by that. That was good.
That's terrible in the best of ways.
Right.
All right, you gonna pick one?
No, Mike, you go. You go for it.
All right, fine.
I'm chickening out.
Mainly, I'm going to bring up the one that's at the very, very end because I want your opinion on this. Because I'm a giant weeb, as some people in the room may realize. I'm not sure Luke does. I definitely look like one considering I'm wearing a flipping Aladdin t-shirt. So
I don't know what this item is at all, and it pops up, and I thought I'm just going to wait until the episode airs, and then I'm going to find out what it is because it seems so sort of bonkers.
Right. So virtual reality. We all know it's kind of bullshit, right?
Do you have legs or not? How much do they spend on the legs?
And we all know that the metaverse is complete bollocks.
I don't even know what it is or anything about it. I just see pictures of like half-formed stuff and like, here's Fatboy Slim on a stage, and it's not Fatboy Slim, and he doesn't have legs, and is he even playing the records?
But okay, so there is an anime that was released quite a few years ago called Sword Art Online. The premise of that is that you put on this VR headset and you enter this world, and then the dude makes it so that if you tried leaving the world or you died in the game, they microwaved your brain. Somebody's gone ahead and upgraded an Oculus Rift to kill you if you die in game. The world has now got to the point where Weeb Meta is truth in a real bad way. We've upgraded from panty shots to shotgun to the brain.
You take the blue pill and what's the point of what's the point of all this?
This is the reason why I bought it.
Is it a even, I love the way that the article which is in Vice has even got like some sort of Xbox sword thing, which is sort of
the sword from Sword Art Online, by the way.
There we go.
Which hangs up in my lounge.
I don't. Can you imagine?
I'm not going to come to you for interior design tips.
Can you imagine like? Can you imagine the obituaries in the newspaper, like of the evolution of time of, I want an obituary that says something like, it's not going to be important because I'm not, but it was like James, loving father, grandfather, maybe, I don't know, and he liked these things, and and we purchased a bench in the Black Country, and now there I am, and I'll just rust away. That's fine. It's a bit morbid, but that's what tends to happen. What about like 28 years old and died in a video game? How do you write that up?
They're not exactly, it is just shameless.
What?
Like a shameless project to get a headline, and it's worked, right?
Everyone's we're talking about it.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
what's the armament? What's the armament?
They're a defense contractor, right? Like, I've never heard of Paul Malucky. Like,
I am currently just Googling them to.
Yeah, like, it's very transparent in my mind.
But my brain is just solidly stuck in there. The obituary is now officially, because he's mentioned, it's like he died how he lived, in his pants, in his bed.
But that's not what actually happened. What happened was he died heroically trying to get the sword of Endor.
Oh God, some full-on wow shit. Oh no! It turns out the guy who was
Leroy Jenkins. There's always one of them.
It turns out Palmer Luckey was one of the original inventors of the Oculus Rift.
Oh, okay. I thought it'd be like BAE or something like that.
No.
So
it turns out
it's obviously cynical,
but the dude literally went ahead and just did the worst thing possible. The only way he could make it worse is if he's like, you know what? I'm going to straight up make this for porn.
Bringing in a whole new aspect of things.
You have to go shopping, don't you? Like, if that's your strategy.
But that's what.
It's gonna, like, I'm not even sure what to do.
It's so tiring as a consumer, though. Like at the moment in the UK, what's it called? Brewdog are doing what Brewdog do, which is their marketing division. I think I have mixed feelings about them, so I'm going to be quite nasty to them. But I think that the head of marketing and the marketing team, and therefore James Watt, the CEO, think that they're very clever with what they're doing, which is paying for a national marketing campaign for the Brewdog company by declaring the anti-World Cup and saying first it's Russia, then it's Qatar, blah blah. And it's just so boring. You're like, I know that you want to be. I know you want to be so edgy. You love being edgy and punk, but we've all seen behind the scenes of what your company is like anyway. So,
it's got all kinds of like super hands energy to it from Peep Show. But it's like, oh, do you want to not show the World Cup in your pubs? And Super Hands goes, almost fucking did, mate. Like, it's. There's no substance to it.
It's so vacuous and pointless. The only thing that annoys me is that it's aimed at people that can't see through it, and that drives me mad. because it's not clever. It's just viral marketing. It's mainstream now.
To be contrarian for a little bit, dangerous, right?
Oh,
It
you're one of them. Like I'm
is-
going to contradict myself now for the fun of it.
It is doing a good thing, right? Raising awareness of how fucked Qatar are.
Yes, that's
as a
true.
country.
That's true.
Like, even if we're cynical about it and we think it's for a means to an end to promote the company.
Yeah, but to be
a little bit punk, but not actually that punk. Like if you're a punk, you actually follow through and do something meaningful, other than just like talking the talk. It is still doing a good thing.
That's fair. I'll go with that. That's fair enough. And also, as we speak this morning, it's like the Oxford. I can't remember if it's Oxford or Cambridge dictionary word of the year was permacrisis, and of which we are all experiencing. Every morning I wake up and think, "What now?" And this morning's been cracking. This morning is at the World Cup games in the stadiums, beer is now banned, which is like, this is hilarious. I'd say hilarious. It's a bit naughty of me because probably some people have gone out there. I wouldn't because I need it to be somewhere that has a history and heritage of football, and Qatar doesn't. What they do have is a lot of oil money, and Sepp Blatter is pretending that that's not the case, but that's why it's there. So yeah, they've banned beer. And you're like, well, what?
I'm looking forward to seeing what that
I'm looking.
looks like.
That's going to be tasty, isn't it?
Because if I was Budweiser,
But I think the chief executives of Budweiser is sitting in. Where is it? Is it Minneapolis or where is it? Where is their HQ? InBev or whatever. I can't. There's so many big beer companies. I can't remember. I reckon the executives are just sitting there and going, well, in a way, thanks for that, because I mean, this is gonna fund our expansion for the next 10 years. Yeah, it's gonna be a tasty payout. Why are you still fiddling with the mics, Mike?
Because chat is saying they can't hear Luke.
Oh, dear.
that's okay. I'm okay with it.
It turns out it could just be because you're softly spoken and we're really
No,
fucking
I'm just noisy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's I'm getting the same register on the audio interface, so it's not us.
Right, we
can't hear you now, Mike.
Yeah, that's essentially what we're getting. Like, excellent.
Put it up to 11.
It's already on 11. Everything's
God.
cranked. Right, so it's your turn for a topic, coward.
I want to pick something that you put in because I haven't read the article and I love it. Do you remember a couple of episodes ago? I did the one where I did the AI rapper, which was just a trash fire.
Yes.
It's a bit like that. And I'm just gonna for the agenda, I'm just gonna read out exactly what Mike has put on there. HelloFresh accused. Silence, please. I need decorum. Okay. This is a bit like when I tried to. Do you remember when I tried to read out the Didn't Happen of the Year awards and I couldn't do it without crying? It's a bit like that. HelloFresh accused of using coconut milk obtained from monkey labor.
Can I just say, I don't know what it is, but there's a very good Alan Partridge monkey tennis joke in there.
There's got to be.
Oh.
In fact, actually, that's what one of the segments of Tech Off Topic should be with. I mean,
we have now made multiple Alan Partridge.
Particularly, we've started doing them and dropping them in. I think we should make a segment of like how Partridge is this, or we could do like Musk or Partridge. We could do something like that.
Musk or Partridge, indeed.
So because if he said like the Wings, the band the Beatles could have been, or something like that. It's like something that Jeff Bezos really would say. I think.
Bezos, yes.
And or I'm trying to think of other Partridge quotes off the top of my head, but I can't. Right. So HelloFresh for any non-UK
Well, they're American as well.
Oh, okay, it's a global, is it?
Yeah, it's a big old deal.
Right, they're getting what are they doing? They're getting monkeys to take out coconuts. What's going on with this?
Yeah, I read that and was like, all right, I know Peter. It's against the abuse of animals, right? And usually, like that's the gold standard for knowing how to not fuck with nature, right?
Yeah.
It turns out we're not doing anything to the monkeys. They're just picking up the dregs they leave behind. It's like, so people are losing their shit because their stuff is coming from a monkey. Do they not realise when they go get milk from a cow, it's coming from a living animal that squirted it in a bucket?
Yeah. Although,
Sorry.
I hadn't read this.
The link you've put in is wrong, by the way.
I've got another link.
The link you put in the thing, and also the first link when I type in "HelloFresh monkey labour" takes me to the Daily Mail online, and that's not really where I want to be. But I'll let that one slide.
I've just read from
the first thing on the Mail Online article says warning graphic content for an article that you're reading, and you think this is going to be strange.
Daily Mail thinks it's graphic.
To be fair, anything to do with the Daily Mail is graphic. We don't want to make our 80-year-old readers pass out.
This is. I want to say something like I want to do like a BBC disclaimer if this is a non-political kind of podcast, but it's not really much point. I'm non-political. I just don't like people that do bad things, and I know that's quite subjective. I mean, but exploiting monkeys seems pretty bad, I would say.
I agree. Yes.
Like monkeys, quite cute,
mostly,
but some of them are a bit funny, aren't they?
Well, it depends on what colour their arse is.
And some of them have the baboon asses that where they parade them around.
And they also fight with their penises and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's also fun and the fair, isn't it?
Wow, this really is off topic.
Oh, we've had conversations about a monkey lie before.
We got on the last time we got onto me doing Scottish accents about English breakfast. So
you would never tell that you did acting at university.
No,
quit his career.
My team at Vonage pretty much say the same thing. Couldn't tell you're an actor, Jim. So
rolls eyes into the back of their heads.
Yeah, they're all bored of it. They know it's like an in joke now. So So how did they get caught doing this?
We're literally going to fourth mic to see if that's going to help it.
Is it your mic?
I have no idea. But carry on.
Can the editor for Spotify cut this out?
Well, the editor's going to be me, so yes. Oh god, that went real loud. Okay, that's fine. That one seems to work. There we go.
This is very good.
I came prepared with extra kits.
I was rinsing you for the extra kit beforehand, but I stand corrected now. Yeah, they reckon that Peter had been to Thailand and gone and looked at 47 different places that make coconut milk. It's a Peter story, right? It's not a HelloFresh story.
No,
because it's downstream, and fine, they should do their due diligence. But
on this conglomerate business.
Yeah.
It's like, geez,
it's very sort of
meal kits are evil. The meal kits are the problem here. It's not. It's not the industry.
To be fair, my waistline could probably agree as a HelloFresh.
What I love is I'm looking at one of the statements from HelloFresh's PR. It's always the same. It's always the same kind of flavor of what PR people are supposed to say, which kind of makes sense. But what I love is that as I get older, in the last 3 years, the sound bites of things that happen like this get more close to my upbringing with Chris Morris and Brass Eye and things like that, and the day to day, and then specifically thinking from this point of view, kind of like Armando Iannucci's writing with the thick of it and things like that, where he stopped doing satire because he said there's no point to do satire anymore. There really isn't.
Yeah.
And that's in the political perspective. So when you have to, it's these people's jobs.
Yeah.
It's these people's jobs in PR.
Yeah.
To be interviewed with 40 cameras on you and say, HelloFresh strictly condemns any use of monkey labor in its supply chain. And you're like, what? How could you do? How can you be serious? Because it's so ridiculous.
It is so the thick of it. It reminds me of it. Like it reminds, yeah.
It's very omni-shambles.
It's like it reminds me if you watch the latest series of The Thick of It, like of Mr. Tickell with like the ridiculous name, the man who dies in a tent. Like, and obviously it's very funny because his name's Mr. Tickle. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it is a fictional man. He didn't really die in a tent. But anyway, we'll move on.
Moving on swiftly.
There's actually for headline the headlines get more like a lot of headlines get more and more obscure. Can I do this in Twitter in time? So there's an account that's always great. It's always a gold mine called no content. I just need to read it out.
By in time, do you mean before it goes down?
Yeah, before
Right, okay.
because apparently microservices are just like
that's what happened, because that's why they sacked all their engineering.
It also, Mike does this, by the way. Just roll with it.
Wow, okay.
Hang on, it says you.
What?
Oh, and that's what this is. You do the same thing. You cutting with those.
I'm very sort of the only thing for ex-employers, that's not my last ex-employer, that's ones before that, is that A, none of them are ever going to listen to this, and B, I still mask it anyway. So, I kind of get off. No context Brits. That's my favorite one. You always get such great headlines, and it was one about gimps, and that was good. Let's see if I can find the gimps one. If I scroll through, and I have to sort of chat through this whilst I'm doing it, otherwise.
Video editing, not video, photo editing.
Yeah, so not GIFs, gimps, as in bring out the gimp. Am I going to find it?
I'm not going to lie. Couple who fled war in Ukraine decide to move back rather than live in Nottingham.
And I'm also I really don't like a shaming a place joke, but I mean, that's kind of funny. And also the reason why I don't mind is probably because we live in Birmingham, and that's the sort of that's where it's at when it comes to it. I've got it. It's from the I newspaper, and it's the Essex Gimp. The Essex Gimp is dressed like the Essex Gimp, as in there's some sort of full lycra thing, bondage thing. Essex Gimp's not very happy. The Essex Gimp, the Somerset Gimp, is giving Gimps a bad name. There you go. There's your headline. It's not absolute. Arms crossed as well.
Literally,
not
it's a literal gimp.
Oh, it's a gimp. Yeah, it's an actual gimp. I love the stuff you get on that sometimes.
You do like your left of field Twitter.
Yes, I mean this thing is called Tech Off Topic.
The man is accurate.
And also, there's I mean, right now there's an Adrian Childs. There's an Adrian Childs thing. So Adrian Childs writes an article for the Guardian thing or the Observer. Oh yeah, he does. It's great. He knows it's rubbish, but he still does it anyway. And his headlines for this one are: "It doesn't matter how clever you are, talk for more than a minute and you've lost me." That's Adrian. He's don't know, man. Trying to be clever in that and talking. He's just not up for it. Not up for it, Adrian. There was one about spoons that was much funnier. Mike, can you interject and stop me talking?
No.
Please do.
Right. Pick a topic. This is what happens when we need to derail it. Pick a topic.
Unless the derailing is going well, but I thought that was a dead end.
That one died. Death. Horrible.
Also, I want personally Luke to speak more because he makes me laugh.
That's very kind. Should we do crypto?
Oh no, that's the beginning to every decent segment of let's do crypto. Do you know who this man is that's on there?
Yeah. So
what's his name?
Sam Bankman-Fried. Fried.
Jason. Sure he's right at the point.
Yeah. So I actually saw him on a New York Times panel that's got President Zelensky, Mark Zuckerberg, and someone quite high up in the US Treasury, and this guy. It was supposed to take place in about 2 weeks' time. This is the first thing I saw from him. It's like, what the fuck?
Who's this guy?
Who is this guy? And yeah, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered the Twilight Zone. I've never heard of this bloke
Right.
before this catastrophe happened. I've heard of Zuckerberg because they're still trying to work out if he's actually a lizard person.
So I did see a Twitter clip of Mark Zuckerberg not knowing how to open a car, and that was quite funny.
Yeah.
Was it? He looked confused. I think it was. He probably does. He probably does know how to open a car.
Yeah.
But he left his house in LA, stared at his car, and was confused until his butler or whatever came and opened the door for him.
Can I help you with your door?
You know, like if you take someone straight out, like, because where did he go? Is it Stanford? Harvard. He went to Harvard.
No,
One of the Ivy League ones.
MIT.
No, it's Harvard. Definitely Harvard.
Well, to be fair, if your entire career is up for making a website that was originally judging women for how hot.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's what Facebook started as.
my point was going to be, if you go from a university where it's catered, like your 3 meals a day are cooked for you, you go from home straight to university, and then out of university you have a multi-million-pound company.
Yeah, it's very high privilege level, isn't it?
But like, he's never lived in the real world, right? Like,
I don't think he has.
Pretty
It's
sure
all-
I have next wife joke here,
go on.
she's from she went to university at Oxford with all those halls of residence and all that stuff. It's like, oh wow, this explains a lot about my past. Next wife joke.
That's literally what she said.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I love the way that's what she said jokes used to be crap and old and sexist, but now because of the Office send up of itself, that it's because it's a terrible joke, is now kind of funny. I quite like that. Like kind of round, the circle of life.
To bring it back to Musk a little bit,
Which is what we were actually talking about.
to bring it back to Musk a little bit, he called FTX out long before it all crashed, and like he said that he was doing an interview and he was like, I spoke to this guy for 30 minutes and the bullshit radar was like right in the red the whole way through.
If Elon Musk is saying that,
I mean, whenever you dismiss regulators as not protecting customers in any way, like I think there's a bit of a red flag, right? One of the like I read about one of the original COOs at PayPal, and the legal team were like, you cannot use customer deposits to fund your burn. Like, you just cannot use it. You still need the customer money there at the end of the day if you go bust. Of course, this was going to be a nightmare, right? Of course, like if you're relying on effectively like a security price to,
but then banks do the same. No, they just protect. It's all sort of smoke and mirrors. They do. They do.
Regulation, the banks have like the insurance policies where they must maintain a set level of cash. It's just any profit they make on that is then sold up and done. You know,
I'm not saying that there's a little bit of in the know on these things, but also when it comes to the regulations, because a lot of the way that banking reporting is done is through linked Excel spreadsheets across data things, and you think this is going to be a well-oiled machine. Fiddling the fingers is pretty easy.
To talk political, this could explain a lot about quality.
Yes.
It's like, people are in the know. Do people know what's going on? No, but he definitely didn't either.
To take off the tinfoil hat a little bit, like I'm very unqualified to comment on this, right? But I know.
Are you sure? You do work in financial services right now.
Yeah, very different part. But anyway, Monzo have had to raise money to top up the funds that they keep in the Bank of England reserve in case they go bust. That's one of the primary reasons that they've raised money in the past.
I was wondering why they were going for the
platinum cards and you mean in the background? Okay.
Yeah, they went for another round of funding.
Some of it's burn and expansion, right? But some of it like is explicitly to make sure that they have the reserves to keep their Bank of England reserves topped up.
That's interesting. There you go. No, if the listeners have taken anything away, at least Luke's talked sense, because we don't, right? So
Who knew regulation was a good thing sometimes?
Shall we talk about your talk that you're going to give?
Oh well, we can do. That was a Shameless.
We're not going to talk about that because we mentioned that at the end. That's our closing remarks thing.
Yeah, I think a mid-podcast plug is
It's not like we haven't done those already.
is against the rule. Oh yeah, we've already done them, but
right. We didn't even get to the flipping meat of that topic, which is like,
what was it?
Crypto company went from being like one of the single biggest unicorn businesses on the planet, to being sold at bankruptcy to their direct competitors, all because of a tweet.
Do you want to?
Originally, the original thing that caused this was some Twitter messaging from the owner of Binance.
Yeah.
About Sam blah 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 blah, because he's involved in these two companies where they're cross-funding, etc., which essentially caused it to be, the House of Cards is collapsing. That's now the second business that one tweet has fucked them. The other one being insulin, which shouldn't be that expensive anyway.
I've forgotten about that. That's amazing. I told my wife about that, and because I just, when you see these things, you just assume because they're so sort of catastrophic and mad that everyone knows about them, and people don't. So you two will be bored about this because you know what it is. So I'm just going to explain it anyway. But when you introduce $8 a month to try and pretend to be verified because it's a subscription service, and you're no longer actually verified for the purpose of what the product of verification is for, so then anybody can be anybody, apart from you have to mark yourself as parody. I don't know. The whole thing was absolutely.
And then you couldn't edit your name afterwards when you become
big
dick.
They didn't like it's such a sort of ill thought out madness, and I don't know whether it was deliberate or whether it was fake or whatever. But someone poses. I can't remember the name of the company. It's a massive American pharmaceutical that owned the patent. That's it. Eli. Is it Eli and Lilly?
No, it's Eli Lilly
and something. And it's just said we're gonna make insulin free, which has the double effect of everyone else in the world going, but it shouldn't be free anyway. And the stock price, they lost $16 billion, and they haven't recouped it. Even though everyone knows now it was a joke and a mistake, they still haven't got back. They've just lost it. It's burning money.
I'd love to see what, because presumably they have some sort of agreement with Twitter. Like your big corp is very concerned about legal liability, right? Presumably they have some sort of agreement, even if it's just for advertising. Whether there's any repercussions for Musk,
they must. They must.
On that note, there's a whole bunch of businesses that have stated that they are not returning to Twitter advertising until the new year.
Oh, they pulled out. They pulled out sort of about 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, like all huge ones like Samsung have pulled all of their advertising, which they've recently just released a new phone model, so it's like buy off
massive multinationals like that. What they love is stability.
Yeah.
What Elon Musk does not bring to the table is stability.
The thing is, like, it's just a classic case of like fuck around and find out, right?
Yeah.
And like
he loves it.
We're now in the find out phase, and like maybe it will be fine. It's not plausible that those 10% of engineers work ridiculous hours to keep the platform up. They hire more engineers who want to work at SpaceX or Tesla, like an Elon company, so then go and like supplement that 10% that are left. And it just about scrapes through, and slowly over time the marketing funding comes back in.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Not a team of that size.
We'll see. It's not gone down so far. And
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Twitter podcast where we analyze Twitter.
We knew this was going to happen anyway. So that's derailed it onto Twitter. So what was it originally again?
FTX.
It was. I mean, it was crypto. There's no safe fun areas of tech to talk about anymore, is there? It's just the same bollocks over and over again.
And yet we still work here.
I know. We still do it. What should we talk about next? People getting laid off.
There's two cynical old farts, and there's young Luke who's like, yeah. No, I agree with you now.
Who was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about.
Well, it's about 3 months ago. It's like,
I know. Welcome to the
It
real
was,
world.
you know what? It was directly correlated to like having to organise a conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say this publicly and out loud. I told you so.
Yeah, no, you did.
Community work. Sure, you can get a profile, but also, yes, do you want to fast track yourself to burning out? That's a
Yeah.
thankless task that nobody will be. Anyway, yeah.
We started doing some really interesting stuff at work at the same time as organising the conference. So, you know, bad
That's
timing.
a bad merging. Whereas,
For reference, this is mentioning tech nits, which is something we've picked out on multiple tech topics.
we have done our bit.
Yeah.
Please don't hit us.
And we both actually helped volunteer at the day, so
You did.
we've
Thank
our
you very
bits.
much.
We did.
Oh, I still need to finish this video. I've got the last two to do.
Okay.
I just
There's-
keep going. Nah, I'm gonna watch Andor.
well, thank you very much for your help. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
It was a good conference. I really enjoyed it because we never had a post-mortem. We were bigging it up, and then we never actually said what was it like, and it was amazing.
You know
It was
what?
genuinely amazing.
I'm amazed that basically nothing big went wrong the whole day. It was all pretty smooth, pretty seamless, and oh no,
I know.
Mike
I know.
knows about something.
No, I
big
know
that
what
went
my,
wrong.
I know. Mike's head is probably like, take off topic. Got our next subject because we are talking about a conference.
Yeah.
That a local conference that went. I wouldn't say surprisingly. It's mean. Like it was a hard graft,
The
and you
biggest
pulled it off.
We did it in 90 days with basically just enough funding to pull it off, and we did free tickets, right? And
And that's
it was
hard.
it was a pain in the ass, and we loved the community, and that's why we did it, right? It was bringing all the meetup groups together, and we could not have done it without all the community groups because like everyone else did a lot of the hard work. To be honest, we just pulled it all together.
That's
But-
mostly being modest, but
Only one thing went wrong, and it wasn't your fault. Well, two things. There was a
Live
restream
stream.
that was officially restreamed from Suck One, but they are pretty much the only choice on the market.
Alistair,
who are they? Who are they?
They're a piece of software to manage streaming your event out to YouTube and multiple vendors.
Okay, so it's
But it
cat.
happens to be useful for making sure there's a middleman to record and keep shit going when things go wonky, which it turns out did work.
Yeah, so Alistair came to me after. He was like, I got an email. Alistair Hay, who runs the DevOps and Go meetups in Birmingham, co-organizer of the Tech Mids conference, got an email and was like, oh, apparently you're locked out of your Tech Mids email. It's like, yeah, I know. The stream broke. Everything went down, and me and Mike were stood at the back of the room like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
you hammered it back into place
yeah.
via other methods, but and then the only other thing, well, definitely wasn't your fault. Ben Foxon fucking turning up half an hour late.
I love that.
Oh, I
I
didn't.
love
He's
Ben
the
with a
best.
passion.
I
The flamingo is fun, but
Oh, I didn't
when he
know.
went
in-
on first.
I didn't know he was late.
He did DM me on Twitter to defend Ben. We were a little bit concerned, but yeah, no, he was there.
First speaker.
This is part. Surely, when it comes to and
Ben Foxon used to be DevRel as well.
yes, I knew that. But so what's it's one of the. I think that's one of the marks of when you're doing a regional conference of stepping it up a bit of having to deal with situations like that. If you keep it hyper local, then you know everyone that's doing it, and so
To be fair, Ben was in Birmingham at the time. He was in the hotel.
what was he doing?
He
I'm
did.
not-
So he went back to Oxford to record a demo. I hope Ben doesn't mind. He went back to Oxford the night before to record a demo that he was then using in his talk. So his talk was all about his motorbike and kind of connecting the internet to his motorbike and being able to point a web browser at it. Amazing talk, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, he needed to get back to Oxford to get to his motorbike to then record the demo and pull it all together. So I think the last minute nature of like going from London to Oxford, then to Birmingham, kind of.
That's your kind of. I don't think that's kind of like. He's a classically sort of chaotic speaker, but on the spot he can pretty much deliver something that's mind blowing, which
Yeah.
is a
Mike
rare
Jones'
kind of
ability
class.
to wing it is fabulous.
I'd love to
He's,
see you properly, fully wing something. Anyway,
we were going to talk about modern front ends, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. I didn't mention that when I had the twinkle away of like we've talked about a conference going with quite fine margins
Yeah.
and high pressure and pulling it off. And now let's talk about, because I think it's I was going to say it's quite rare, but then Mike and I have already done like a post-mortem at a conference in Ohio that was like an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Modern front ends in Excel in London, just there were lots of when you've really done it badly is when the stuff starts surfacing instead of like internal chats.
Yeah.
And I think it was Andy Piper or Andy Bell, the big front end guy from Shrewsbury. What's his name?
I was supposed to say that's not Andy Piper. That's Twitter from London. Well, it was Twitter from London.
The first I heard of it was Cassie Evans tweeting that she wasn't going to be part of it anymore. And Cassie's lovely. We spoke to her about coming and speaking at Tech Mids, but she was in New York and she's lovely about it all. But Cassie Evans wasn't comfortable with people not being compensated to travel and all the rest of it.
So
it was
was she going to? I realised I've just clicked. It's just clicked who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So was she doing a was she going to do a workshop or was it just a talk?
I'm not sure. She was on the website and they kept her on the website the whole way through.
Out of goodwill, she then purchased a ticket, I think,
on
the online ticket.
Oh, yeah.
And then said...
And then there was no live stream, right?
I can't even see the live stream of this thing.
It was £699 for a ticket, like the late tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was an absolute shit show the whole way through. Not paying speakers for their travel and accommodation, just like the bare minimum, right? Like I'm personally a fan of, if you can and you raise enough sponsorship, paying people for their time.
There's a difference. There is your community event.
Yeah.
This is an event that even when it's well funded, will always be scrabbling at some point. And then you've got your corporate event, run by an events company or by a big organization like Amazon or AWS. Or AWS.
This one is it.
No, it was run by an events company.
Yeah, events company, £700 for a ticket, and the brainchild of somebody that is fairly well known in the industry.
It's one of those big corporate events. An honorarium is kind of an almost expectation.
Yeah,
it's like you get your flights covered, you get your fed, your watered, your hotels covered.
Yeah,
and there's a little bit of something to cover the cost of your work up front before you go. Not a huge amount of money because like everybody's day rate's different and that's really hard to fucking calculate.
Yeah.
But like a community event, like Tech Mids would never be expected to like cough up an honorarium because that would double the budget.
Yeah, we definitely like to. Like we spoke about it, we just don't have the budget for that conference. But if we could in future and we raise the sponsorship money, we don't run it as a profit-making exercise. We want it to be sustainable and we want it to break even and ideally make a little bit of money so that we're not like, up to the 11th hour trying to pull together an extra grand or whatever it is. But
how that feels.
Yeah, no. But yeah, we'd love to do that. Organizing a conference is really hard, right? I do feel for them.
That's because the thing about the difficulty with is that I have with it is they had an events company.
Yeah.
The same way that some of the big ones had.
Yeah.
You did Tech Mids like most of the ones I know, which is
there was 5 full-time software engineers running full-time jobs as well as their full-time jobs.
Yeah.
To run the event. Well, it was 5.
Yeah. 4, I think. But yeah, I feel for them because organizing a conference with 100 speakers is no mean feat. And I'm sure there are things that just slip through the cracks that you can possibly foresee when you're running an event that big. I think, yeah.
And some of I've been told that they didn't have their conflict management for Code of Conflict was not managed brilliantly because people actually complained, but there was no resolutions to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they had that thing where you can complain. Welcome to the trash bucket.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Hello, I've had a terrible time. Good luck with that. Okay.
Somebody has done something terrible to me. Help me. Leave that open to whatever somebody wants to interpret that. No help.
and this is the first one. So if you're going to establish the brand, you're done, really. You're done.
I think this is like, we often say like meetups, tech mids, like in tech generally, we want to produce these big events that bring the community together, and we do it because we love seeing everyone in a room having a great time, right? Like, you need to start small though, right? Like, that's the one thing that we've learned is we had grand ideas in, like, me and Alistair and Tom, and I know we'd spoken to you both about it. Like, you can't start with that big ideological piece. You've got to start really small. And I do have a lot of sympathy for them, even though it's an events company. Like, they're still people at the end of the day, and then, like, even if it looked like a shit show on Twitter, yeah, I do feel for them.
Right. No, I feel for the people who actually did the work.
Yeah.
I do not feel for the organisation.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you can feel bad for like the people who had to go through that and now suffered the side effects.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, as an organisation, you're meant to have that shit covered.
Yeah.
You're an events company. You know what's going to be on lock? Events.
Yeah. Well, you know, like, at least it wasn't a fire festival. Like, you're like, so you've always got Fire Festival to compare it to.
It's a case of like, if you run an event, your question needs to be afterwards: is this going to be a victory Netflix series or a crash Netflix series?
Yeah.
On that, because we'll call this like the Musk callback episode.
Oh, okay.
Because
are you going to circle back?
I'm going to circle back and make sure that we start at first base. So I can't wait for the Netflix series for Musk's Twitter nonsense. It's going to be great.
The most successful hair plugs.
It's gonna be great. I genuinely gonna love it because it has to be made. They made,
it's going to be made posthumously because it will suit anybody who makes it in reality, unless it's called parody.
Well, or also, but you could factor that in. Maybe you could call it the parody of the man that bought the social network 2 parody man.
Social Network 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Reaching out to the old school jokes.
That'll be good. I look forward to it. It will be awesome.
It will be a trash fire.
I don't know, but the social network was really fun to watch, and then actually I didn't. Years later, I watched it with that sort of naivety of not knowing about Cambridge Analytica and just Klaus are we the baddies type problem.
I love the Peep Show reference. Yeah.
Actually, it's Mitchell and Webb.
Okay, all right, fine.
It's just we've got skulls on our caps.
Yeah.
I love that. I wonder if the Russians are just thinking that. I'm like, do you reckon do you reckon we're the baddies or not?
I think you analysing like Russian behaviour should become a regular segment. Like, I want your take on military intelligence every single time.
Because based on
you want our take on intelligence first.
Yeah, thoughts on unwarranted opinions on military intelligence versus just intelligence in general, because
I'm rubbing brain cells together.
Well, exactly. I'm not good at that. Can I be the ultimate reply guy? I do read the Reddit threads on world news on Reddit all the time, and I kind of enjoy filtering through the information and then I have to decide how much is true, and then I just love it when you spot it, either a troll or someone that is very, very miserable sitting in a basement in Moscow. It is so obvious, and you just think, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. Your life must be so terrible."
In Russia, we just worry about everything going wrong.
I put the missile is not Russian. People do not believe me.
We're not Polish. We don't shoot Poles.
We do not shoot. When that missile,
I regret everything.
when that missile landed in Poland, straight away my WhatsApp went to when my brothers were like, I'm gonna go to Wix and I'm gonna start purchasing steel for my shelter. And I just thought this is gonna be an absolute nightmare. And I thought this must be finally the boomers have it. Like you don't know what it's like to live in 1963 during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And getting a flavour now.
Yeah, we've gone from having to worry about ICBM to oh shit, all those pocket nukes everywhere are going to go off.
The pocket nuke, but they're also rusty, and no one knows whether they work or not. Like let's nuclear bingo.
Evan, hit him with the hammer.
Oh dear, we're making light of war that cost
I'm
thousands of lives.
looking forward. We can see the BT Tower. I'm looking forward to finding out if the bunker under there still works, if it's still safe. Do you not know about this?
No, the bunker actually connects that to Telegram House over the road.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Okay, so in London, there's like the post office things that go. Oh,
the post office railway.
The post office railway, but also it touches on this thing that under Tony Blair they built underneath the Admiralty Citadel in Whitehall, which is next to Horse Guards Brigade, and it's called something really sort of James Bondish, like Q2 or something. And it's effectively a sealed vault, but it's a new one. It was built in the 90s, where it's like, if when nuclear war, we go in there, and then then we all go Dr. Strangelove. But apparently that exists. I didn't know that we had the same thing here, where there's like underneath in Birmingham, there's like
we have that here. The difference is we've just got it really shoddily made. Of course, called David.
There's London, and then there's everywhere else.
Yeah. Says the man who actually lived in London.
Yes, I'm half London, half
Actually, with that accent.
With what is my accent?
The silver spoon.
This is a silver spoon accent. Do I sound like I'm still like?
You sound like you're one step away from the adenoids and complaining about your jag.
That's you. That's your thing. Your adenoids and the jag thing is your really, really weird shit, like kind of thing about. What is it? Is it posh people? Is it rich people? Is it? Oh, it's Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah, but it doesn't sound like Jeremy Clarkson, does it at all?
I'm not commenting. I'm staying out of this.
I'm not going to. I don't want to. Don't do your adenoids voice. I hate your adenoids voice. It's horrible. It's the truth. It's nothing like. It's rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish.
Anyway, shall we put into the topic for the last topic? It's predictable.
It's the last topic, which is
it is.
Oh no, it's predictable.
I know we're an hour and 10 in, so if we have a small topic, we can go straight from predictable.
There's no small topics.
Evernote.
Are there?
Evernote.
Oh,
Evernote.
Yeah.
Who remembers Evernote?
Yeah, I thought that thing had died.
That's why I put it in. Who remembers Evernote?
I quite like the only thing I liked about this, because I don't really care about Evernote personally. I use Notion.
That's really sort of like.
Notion's great. Like I've never used Evernote.
Evernote,
So
right.
yeah.
I used to care about Evernote because I was always on the Linux machine, I had a Mac at home and my phone.
Yeah.
So WorkNote, Evernote was the only thing that worked across all of them because it was before Google Keep existed.
Oh, Google Keep. I tell you what I miss. Google Inbox and Google Currents.
Oh, this Inbox.
Currents was great.
Shortest lived great product ever.
Yeah.
Killed by Google.com.
You know what? Most of the features in Gmail are up to Inbox now. But the one thing I miss is the notifications from Inbox, because Inbox just got notifications right. They would service the things that were right, and then all the noise would go away. But the only thing I liked about this story was that it was bought by a company called Bending Spoons.
Yeah. So Evernote, the company for alas, it is them, the company that you once used for your cloud networking, note providing, have been bought, and they've been bought by they have been bought by a company called Bending Spoons.
And the tagline is at Bending Spoons, we create our own cutting edge technology products. Bullshit.
So-
bought it.
So like one of the reasons, one of the things that went really wrong with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's either the series or the nonsense film that everyone pretends doesn't exist, which it doesn't. It doesn't exist because I'm a fan of the TV series. Was in Australia and the UK, they hadn't really considered the language levels, like the language part of it, which was if you say you're a fire bender or you're a water bender, that has a very different connotation to if you're talking to a US audience.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of I suppose early memes, because this was about 2003, 2002. Do you remember the Maddox page or whatever?
Yes.
The best page. It was like around that kind of period. And in Australia, if you're like a firebender, you're like, well, okay, that's there's kind of connotations associated with that, with saying that. They didn't really get that, so it kind of fell flat on its arse quite a lot. I feel that spoon bending buying Evernote has got very similar kind of strange kind of vibes to it. Do they spoon? Clearly, they don't bend spoons to me.
I've enjoyed this journey. Like, have you taken us down that path? Yeah, no, I guess.
What do they do?
Apparently, mobile apps. Splice is probably their most well-known one. It's quite cool. It's like a video editing piece of kit on your mobile.
The thing they make is mostly mobile and tablet apps.
Yeah.
So they've got Splice. They've got a couple of other ones as well. Ones dedicated for essentially, I think, social media design and AI optimization for video and whatnot. It's like, okay. 30-day fitness, because everybody needs a PT in the pocket that shouts at them about your fat getting their exercise.
Classic mind that. What I want to know, what I think is the interesting topic of conversation is because I can't remember when Evernote went from being the de facto cloud-based solution for doing anything kind of like general note taking to, do you remember them? How did that happen?
Notion, Obsidian, that whole era, was it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
So 20
3 years. It seems longer ago than that.
Because then everybody switched to using iCloud notes because ecosystem that, but then it didn't play well with the Google people. Google Keep was around. They had slowly been pushed out by, well, essentially, people did shit better. Except for the fact that Notion has a bad habit of losing data. Just saying.
That's the topic for next one. There's more Notion. Haven't they just done a big API kind of release where they're opening it up a lot more? I think.
Yes, but that doesn't stop the fact that when you use it on mobile, it'll randomly just not save shit.
That's not great.
No. Usability.
Could do without that. Obsidian, love Obsidian. That's great.
Somebody in chat just said something hilarious. It's like, I just think of Uri Geller when you talk about bending spoons.
Well, that's what I mean. Surely that's all of us, right?
Well, no, he's probably too young to remember Uri Geller.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Don't bother.
Oh, this is
fine.
going down a full-on
It's fine.
90s, Mr. Motivator level of memery.
What do you think Uri Geller did? It's all right.
Actor?
No, he was a magician.
A
magician.
He was a performer. He bent spoons.
On morning television.
Okay, like Mr. Motivator of spoons, like
Absolutely.
okay,
But bending spoon, and he could do it. He was so boring.
this guy has an impressive jawline.
I can't really be
Wow.
bothered to work out whether he actually did it or not, or whether it was a trick. But I can't really be asked. But he also did lots of other things. He was supposed to be Michael Jackson's best friend as well. It was very strange.
Does anyone ever want to claim being Michael Jackson's best friend?
It's not like a tag that you kind of want,
No,
given how it ended, really.
No, that's like being Elon Musk's private secretary. Which one? Which child this time?
Exactly. Like Epstein, good pal. You think,
Oh,
maybe not.
I didn't.
He's a great escapist.
I did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Firing this sort of volley of like it's the end of the show, so we'll just now it's a free.
No, it's not the end of the show. First things first, we need to do predictable. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
it's our first actual segment that I have lined up.
When you do this edited for Spotify and Anchor and Twitter or whatever, not Twitter, the other thing, Apple Music. Can you do a jingle? Can I get Adam Buxton to do the jingle for it?
You know what? Get one from Cameo.
Okay,
Who are you gonna get off Cameo?
I have no idea what to find someone.
let's do it.
If we can find a Cameo group for acapella.
Oh, can I have a special request? Can you get Kim Woodburn to do it? You know, off the cleaning programs in like early noughties.
Yeah, the
Kim Woodburn's
what was
on
it called again?
Kim and Aggie. Kim and Aggie.
Kim.
I love how Aggie means something very different these days.
Yeah, I'd just love Kim Woodburn to introduce it.
Okay.
If they're on Cameo, I'll have a look.
I want a song that I wanted an Adam Buxton song. Can we put the budget together to do an Adam Buxton jingle?
There's 50 quid, find it.
That will cost more than that.
Yeah,
Maybe I will get some. I'll try and find funding for it. So I'll introduce the section, which is so maybe I sing. That's not going to work.
Okay, so anyway, getting back to what a predictable is.
Predictable.
Right, so we have previously worked out what the hell was going to happen with Copilot, and we were right.
We were right.
We were right.
GitHub Copilot. I predict litigation. I predicted litigation.
Oh,
and it happened.
Yeah, it did happen. So we're now going to be having a bit where instead of moaning about tech and just having general chat, we try and work out what bollocks is going to happen.
Right. I reckon we pick one each. And also, that doesn't mean it has to be on the agenda.
If you've got something else, go with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick first because I put the first comment in. You didn't add anything to me.
I've got one, but yeah, well,
cool. It's like, is Mastodon actually going to be a thing?
no. It's not one for one.
No, I agree, but the problem is, it is also currently, unless you're going to turn LinkedIn into all my cats.
The thing is, I think for your average Joe on the street, it's just too much. It's too much.
Yeah, the techies,
like,
they're not interested, are they?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, the only people with
So what?
Mastodon accounts are nerds.
So hold on. So this isn't a predictable because you're saying.
No, is Mastodon going to become the replacement?
Oh,
to
it's a
Twitter?
question. Okay.
The question is it going to be?
Okay. No.
All right. So
No,
you
you're
don't think
done.
it is. I still think it is the closest thing to an actual replacement we have.
Yes, it is. But that doesn't mean it will be.
I was chatting to Jim earlier. You know that Meta have like small teams that they're kind of like the copycat unit.
They have small teams because they fire everybody else.
Yeah. They're like the copycat unit, right? So they would copy TikTok in the early days or Yik Yak and would build these small apps that they do as a spin-off, experiment with them for 90 days or something like that. And then if it doesn't work, shut it down. I think the TikTok one was called Loop.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that I think right time, right place, if they built the right product, it could actually be a success for the Meta copycat unit. Personally.
Okay.
To be fair, considering Meta's favourite thing right now is ripping off MySpace. We're going to have profile songs and background images.
Profile songs, man. That
MySpace
takes me
era.
back. I love that shit. It was so innocent back then.
That's
Right.
Right. So
Luke,
next.
your question is.
My
prediction
is that Twitter's going to be totally fine. That we'll get to 90 days and there'll only be minor outages. They'll backfill all the staff that they need, and it'll be okay.
Bullshit.
If they could-
No way it's gonna happen.
I think
It's bold, and I like it.
yeah, like contrarian, right? Everyone thinks it's fucked. I'm not so
No,
convinced.
I think it's an oil tanker. It's going to sink. It's just going to take a while.
The long term maybe, but everyone seems to think that it's just going to go down and die, and that you'll lose all the user base. I think the user base is
There's too much
resilient.
money, there's
The
too
out-
much-
The outages will be fairly contained. They'll just focus on keeping those, I think Musk said that only 20% of services are needed. I'm not a Musk simp, I promise. But like you only need 20% of services to keep the core services up, and the other 80% of the services are like
The
unnecessary.
problem is that those are like, I think a lot of those microservices are like functional things that need to happen. and the infrastructure team's gone. So
Yeah, but if you can
It's
still
dead.
send tweets, the majority of users can still log in. You can still render a timeline with the bare essentials.
Oh, yeah, but then we
like-
would have thing of like half of Twitter now is memes, images, etc.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can
I'm-
post a tweet, but you can't see the GIF.
it's bold.
I'm very happy to be wrong, but
Well, you're not,
I
because,
think they'll be
we've
fine.
discussed this in the pub. It's like, because I'm the same as you. My only outlet onto the universe is LinkedIn for professional things and Twitter.
yeah.
So it's like, if Twitter goes down, I literally have no idea
I
where
think-
to face my anger.
I think people will put up with any outages and that they'll be small.
Okay, that's a bold one.
It's a problem, but weirdly enough, realistic.
I'm interested. To see, like,
Okay,
it's
so-
an interesting case that's
Right.
put towards it.
I'm going to
but-
put this on my phone as an event. Like
Yeah.
a calendar reminder.
30 days.
When do you think this? Because you said 90 days.
Yeah, 90 days. I think 90 days you get
Is this
through it
90
in
days
boost
from
stable.
now or 90 days from Musk?
90 days from now.
Okay. I'm going to put calendar in.
Well, now we have to record the next one promptly because we need to. I'm going to do two ones, but one of them's a sort of one of them I thought would be funny, and then I looked at it and thought, well, this is not funny.
Yeah.
Amazon announces confusing product at reInvent that nobody asked for, so we're just going to gloss over that because that happens every year. So I thought I was going to be funny by doing that.
Does that fit the bill?
Yeah.
And not, it's take off topic. I'm going to go off topic.
Yeah.
It's a standard one, and it's the last one, which is that the England football team, 4 a.m. English.
Do not say
Actually-
win the World Cup.
Actually, because there is another team from the UK that is in this tournament, so I might actually apply it to the same. I'm going to apply the same principle. But the England football team are going to be brilliant in the World Cup because I can't be fucked with it because it's awful. Because everything about it is awful. Everything about Qatar, about the fact that you need. When you host the World Cup, you're supposed to have football heritage and party culture, and you're supposed to have infrastructure to be able to do it. And as we all know, Sepp Blatter gave Qatar a place in the desert, and we've moved it to winter as well.
Just as a point of fact. Just as a point of fact. You're saying this, but do you remember the Greek Olympics?
What do you mean? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm 38.
The Athens Olympics.
Okay,
It was
no.
like, 12 years? No.
Do you mean the one when it wasn't before Christ? So
Yes.
okay, good, because I'm 38, and obviously that'd be a problem.
Right,
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the legacy of that is abandoned stadiums everywhere, right?
Correct. My point there would be the goddamn Olympics were created in Greece, the original Olympiad. And then they came back 2,000 years later
Yes.
and ran it, and they had no infrastructure. They killed how many people building it and had nothing. And now they have just a bunch of empty stadiums.
Right. So I'm not really sure what the point is of that
You
because
don't need heritage to make it count.
you don't. Okay, but it doesn't count for Qatar because it's already a shit show.
Touche, good point.
you can't drink beer in the stadium. The whole thing.
To be fair, that's an 11th hour shape.
But also everyone knew it was going to be a disaster. Everybody went, but you've got to have something. The reason why South Africa were chosen as the host of the World Cup is because they've always had football. It's always been there, and therefore they have stadiums, and then they have the party. It works, and then Brazil is Brazil. So then the infrastructure. Qatar's a place in the desert with lots of people with oil money. That doesn't work. That's nonsense. There's no stadiums there. There's no history of a league.
Okay, so what's your prediction?
My prediction is that England are going to do really, really well. And also the second part of it is because I did say that England are not the only team from the UK. Wales are probably going to do well as well.
Wales are in the World Cup.
Yes, they are.
Didn't see that.
Both teams.
They did really well in the Euros.
They've got a
couple of
really
years
strong
ago.
team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. When I think of Wales and sport, I think of one thing and one thing only.
It's rugby, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
that's
rugby union specifically, because they
correct,
don't
because
play
their league
rugby.
team is terrible. And they do excellent because, well, up until the point where they fall on their ass because they clap in the last minute. But usually Wales exceedingly strong in the run up to the tournament, and usually strong in the first section of the tournament.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise they played football. I thought they exported everybody useful.
First time for the Wales team since 1958, I think.
Okay, that's a good reason I think they export everybody useful then.
Wales is a rugby nation, but also due to the past, I have a very strong affiliation with Wales. Who's we?
The English. Collectively,
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I believe.
That's true.
Unless you're weirdly from the Shropshire Marshes and counts up as a weird one.
Right on the edge of England, next to Wales, Hereford.
I am going to just for the amusement, and you can edit this out of the podcast, just for the amusement, everyone. I'm going to go the Luke. We've done almost 2 hours.
It's predictable that we've done an hour and 30.
Oh, an hour and 30.
Right, we're almost done.
Can I just go back to your Amazon prediction?
This is why I said I'm going to do it
No.
anyway.
I'm not going to go in depth because it'll be boring. But there's a very niche request that the Wealth Wizards engineering team had of AWS. And we use a service called AppSync to do managed GraphQL. And you have to write velocity template language, which is like mega old school Java thing. And it's fine once you get up to speed with it, but it's a pain in the ass. And new developers look at it and go what the fuck is going on? Can't emulate it locally. It's really hard. They've just announced for pre-invent before reinvent that they're going to support JavaScript resolvers. Niche service. You would say nobody has asked for it. We've been asking for it for a long time.
There you go. Because JavaScript compiles to everything, right?
Yeah. No, I am over the moon with this because it's going to solve a bunch of problems we've got at work.
Plugging.
Right. So and before you piss us off, because it's going to have to we need to do the outro bits.
Yes.
Because I always forget, so you need to help me with this.
Right.
All right. So what are the outro bits?
There aren't really many outro bits because we're winding down for Christmas, right? So what we've just had Brum.js.
Yeah. I forgot to make notes of these, which is why. Is there anything happening in the Brum and wider tech scene that we should be making a note of? Screw reinvent because everybody fucking knows about that.
There is .NET. There's Manage
Ops.
Yeah, there's Manage Ops. Both are on Meetup. There is Fusion, obviously.
So Fusion's on the 8th of December.
Feel free to drop in if you have links immediately, because I can take that. To drop them in chat. But yes, and I'll do the Fusion plug because I remember this mostly, and it means I get to do my roundabout plug to Luke. We are doing Fusion again, December 8th. Thank you, Helen. And I think Jim's about to burst.
Honestly, it's like being on a trip. It's like going on a 3-hour journey with your parents in the car. I want a wee. I've not had this for a long time.
Yeah,
it's my own fault.
Yeah. So anyway, so Fusion is going to happen December 8th. Tickets are available. Please come and attend. We've got Eli Holderness.
Yes, Holderness. Eli Holderness
is talking on passwords and passwordless authentication. We are currently working out everybody else except for Luke.
Hello.
Luke, you're speaking.
I am speaking. I'm speaking about how we started going faster at work and how going faster actually made us safer, and it's more relaxing to go fast than it is to go slow. We had a team that I joined that was kind of pretty good, but we've started to kind of deploy every day and move into like a trunk-based development workflow, and it's gone really well. And I want to share the love a little bit.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
And then we've got lightning talks as well.
Yeah, which we've got to fill the rest of the blanks, which
we'll do that. We've got a few people lined up.
But there's a whole bunch of done and final end of year tech bits. There's Fusion, and that's us done for the day. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I'm waiting to look at literally just Jim be like a chihuahua on the floor. So thank you very much. We will see you at the next Tech Off Topic, whenever the bollocks we do it.
Hopefully next month. I reckon we can do it next month.
We can do it next month. How about the Christmas roast again?
Oh God. Let's actually. No, that was a good segment. Let's do that.
All right. Well, so we'll do a Christmas roast next year. So thank you very much.